So, a lot of business owners, they get into starting a business, myself included, because they want more control over their time, their schedule. They call it freedom. They want some autonomy, right? They want the ability to choose what they do with their time and how they actually live their life. And that's what gets them into starting a business. And one thing that I continue coming back into my mind recently is a lot of business owners just haven't defined the rules of the game for their business to exist within. Because guess what? When you're starting a business, unless you have capital, unless you have investors behind you, like there's a big building phase to get this thing off of the ground. And what you got into starting a business for, you don't initially have, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because that is what it takes to get the business off the ground, to get it to a point where it can be successful. But what happens at that point is a lot of business owners forget to come back and redefine the rules of the game for their business to exist within. And when I'm saying the rules of the game, I'm talking about the rules of their life, what they want their life to actually look like. Because here's the thing, if your business just continues to grow, it continues to expand without the right rules, without the right constraints, the parameters for it to exist within, it's going to be this big swirl of chaos that is just going to leak into your life, because it's going to affect you. And when it affects you, it affects how you're showing up in your life. Because, it reminds me a lot of this concept called entropy. And if you're not familiar with what entropy is, it's basically just saying that, a system is going to naturally decay when it's left unattended, meaning our bodies are naturally decaying every day that we live. And especially when we don't tend to it, that decay is going to speed up. Same thing with houses. They are naturally decaying unless we make sure to tend to them and take care of them. So the reason why I say that is because when your business is growing and expanding, even though it seems like it's firing on all cylinders, it's successful, it is still wildly chaotic, and it's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to expand unless you give it the system that it operates within very clearly. And guess what? Your business and your life are not separate systems. Your business is a subsystem within the system of your life. And that might sound really technical, but it's actually really simple. They relate, like they are interdependent on each other. They interrelate. Your business has a feedback loop from your life, and your life has a feedback loop from your business. So what I'm ultimately getting here is you need to revisit the rules of the game for your business to operate within. Because when a lot of times people think when things are getting wildly chaotic that they have a time problem. Oh, I just don't have enough time. No, what you have is a clarity problem. The more clearly you define the life that you want, and not in this daydream, like whimsical way, yes, have a big dream, but at the same time, it can be really practical. It can be really simple, and it gives you the parameters for your business to operate within. And when you have the parameters, because you have clarity is what fixes the issue of what feels like chaos, of what feels like constant overwhelm, of what feels like waking up every single day feeling anxious with the weight of the world on your shoulders, because you're wondering what's going to be waiting for you when you walk into the door at work, right? So clearly define the rules of the game. Get clear on what you want for your life. And at the same time, think without the business in mind at first, and just go crazy thinking about the life that you want. Because here's the thing, it could be a reality as long as you tell yourself that it is going to be. There's no rule saying you can't have this or you can't have that. And that might seem a little out there to say that, but be unrealistic right away and just write down everything you actually want. And the more you do that, the more clearly you're going to be able to see what you actually want. And the more clearly you see what you actually want with your life, then you just get to set up the business in a way that starts to control it and contain the chaos so you can live that life.